Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Tanner here, and welcome to a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at episode 4 of season 15 of Ninjago, entitled 5,000 Fathoms Down. This is, like I said, the 4th episode of season 15 Seabound, and we are continuing our series of season 15 episode reviews with this video. Like the other videos in this series, this video will contain spoilers for the episode at hand, so if you have not seen this episode just yet, I highly recommend you check it out. It just released earlier today in Canadian territory, so if you haven't seen it just yet, check out the episode and then come back and watch this review. It'll still be up. In terms of these reviews, we usually start them off by taking a look at a quick synopsis of the episode, then we'll get into the good and the bad, and then finally, at the end of the video, I will give the episode a score out of 10. So let's go ahead and get started by taking a look at a quick plot summary. So in terms of a synopsis, this is what I have written down here. Nia and Maya use their new hydromechs to search for the power source, only to find an old temple, Wajira, and the new villain, Prince Kalmar. That pretty much sums it up. This episode has a lot to do with Wajira and Kalmar, but it also has a lot to do with Nia and Maya. So let's go ahead and get into some of the good. First things first, like I previously mentioned just now, Nia and Maya, yeah, they work really well together. You can tell that Nia is still having a few, I guess, trust issues with Maya. Now, the main reason why Nia doesn't really care for Maya all that much here is because Maya and Ray obviously had to leave Kai and Nia behind. She really doesn't need Maya in this moment, to which Maya kind of talks about sacrifice and kind of foreshadows that maybe Nia will have to deal with something like that later on. She kind of mentions like, oh, hopefully you don't ever have to make a sacrifice as big as that. Kind of foreshadowing for the end of the season maybe. Maybe Nia's going to be making some type of really big sacrifice, but who's to say? I just thought that was a really cool conversation. Really nice, really down to earth, but Nia will probably come around eventually. Maya's just trying to do her best, and Nia will probably come around to trust her at one point in time. In terms of other stuff, I really liked the hydromechs, especially all the underwater stuff with them. Kind of gave me Bionicle Toa Mari vibes. Not sure if anybody else got that, but I really enjoyed how the hydromechs moved. I love the design. Definitely going to be getting this set when it comes out later on this summer. I also really enjoyed the introduction of Kalmar and his moray guards, or whatever they're called. I enjoyed that. I really liked seeing how Kalmar kind of acts and treats them. He kind of acts like a bratty child, but I love his voice. I think it's awesome. And we also get to see his little temple setup thing, and that looks creepy in and of itself. Speaking of creepy things, I also really enjoyed the really creepy translation done by Zane. When Nia and Maya actually make it to the entrance of the temple, there's some really weird, I guess, dialect written on the door that Zane can just barely translate, and he spends a lot of time translating it, and it's kind of creepy, and it's kind of leading up to the big reveal, and then the big reveal hits that the actual translation that he couldn't do before actually translates to Wajira. And sure enough, we see Wajira in her dormant form, kind of similar to where we saw her towards the end of season 14, and she's just kind of chilling there on this weird pedestal thing, and Prince Kalmar and his goons are trying to, I guess, replicate an amulet somehow in order to bring Wajira back to life and awaken her, and it kind of releases this big energy pulse very similar to what we saw prior, and it hits Nia directly and she kind of freaks out. Really cool sequence, really creepy, really good timing on that one, like really good execution for the scene. Really enjoyed that one there, and this is probably an explanation as to where all these energy pulses are coming from. It's just, you know, failed attempts to awaken Wajira, which is kind of scary in and of itself. This also leads to a really intense chase sequence between Nia, Maya, and Prince Kalmar, which I think is an excellent villain right off the bat. Kalmar, like I said, he kind of acts like a really bratty and, you know, spoiled child, but he's really fun. I mean, he moves really cool. His design's awesome. He has a very rich voice, which I find to be quite enjoyable, like I said earlier, and I just think he's a lot of fun already. And also, he kind of recognizes Nia in a way, too. He kind of recognizes that he knows who the elemental master of water is, or at least he can sense it to some degree. So I really enjoyed that. Overall, this episode kind of had a lot of really creepy moments in it, but it was really well executed. I really enjoyed this episode. Definitely one of my favorites from Seabound so far. In terms of bad stuff, I don't really have anything for bad. I really enjoyed this episode. I honestly thought that it was probably one of the best episodes so far. We only have 4 episodes right now, of course, but I don't know, this episode was really fun. I liked it quite a bit. So in terms of a score, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 10 out of 10. Really enjoyed this episode. Had a lot to say about it, so hopefully you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out the links down below in the description for my other forms of social media. As always, big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including once again the marvelous Jan. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, my name is TannerFishies, and with that I bid you farewell.